Catch Texas in Color every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Texas in Color here. And we are here with Sabrina Robinson again. She's not going anywhere. She's just right here. She don't know it yet. But we talked about absentee voting and all that on the last segment. But this one we're going to talk about poll watchers and becoming a poll worker and what goes involved in that. Good afternoon, Sabrina.
Good afternoon, Ron.
So we discussed things on the first segment. Now here's segment number 2. So poll watchers. I'm intrigued with that because we were told poll watchers are supposed to have certain things with them, let them know they're a poll watcher. But one of the things that changed with the poll watchers, I don't think everybody know, before they could come in and couldn't leave. Now they can leave and come back anytime they want. And that was at our last training that told us that right there. And also, we're in need of poll workers too. So let's start with the poll watchers first. Who can become a poll watcher?
Any registered voter that is over the age of 18 can be a poll watcher. You will need to go on the Secretary of State website to do the online poll worker training. And after completion of that training, you will receive a certificate. You would then provide that certificate to either your election administrator in your county, or depending on the size of your county, it'll be your election clerk, to receive a formal letter from them stating that you are eligible and certified to be in a polling location to observe the process of the voting in your county in that polling location.
And once they get that, once they show up to a polling place, I know they have to sign in. Do they have to show that they are a poll watcher?
Correct. So you will receive documentation from the election administrator to show that you are conducting election or official business, and you have the right to be there to observe the process of the voting in that polling location. So you have to receive that letter authorizing you to be in that polling location from your election administrator.
Now, poll watchers cannot get involved in any voters. They cannot walk up to the machine, the voting machine they're voting on. But can they come over where the voters are coming in and registering? Can they come over there?
No, that's why they are called poll watchers. They are only there to watch. Now, they may take notes and document things. They are not to have any type of communication or interaction with the election judges, the election clerks, or the voters. They are only there to observe, watch the process. Now, they could document in reference to writing or taking notes of what they noticed or what they saw, and then they take that information back to the election administrator. But there is no contact with the poll watcher and the people at the polling locations.
So once a poll watcher seen something that he wasn't too sure about, can he or she come up to the election judge and bring up what they just saw?
No, sir. What they can do, they can step out of the polling location and use their mobile device or make a phone call and contact the election administrator and say, hey, this is what I noticed, if there was something that was pertinent that needed to be addressed right then. But they are not to have any type of contact with the election judges, clerks, or the voters.
Okay. So what about the poll workers? We know that we're in dire need for what's been happening over the years. People are scared to come up and be, election judge, poll worker, all that stuff. So I know I brought up security in my last training session, and they said they're going to address that. But how hard is it to become a poll worker?
It's not really hard at all. Now they have trainings online, on demand, at your convenience, self-paced. Let me give you the website address. It's on the Secretary of State website, and it is pollworkertraining.sos.texas.gov, and it is a self-paced online training that provides you with the information that you need to be a poll watcher and a poll worker, which is also an election worker. And then depending on what county you reside in, your county election administrator may also offer in-person training and give you hands-on where you're able to operate the equipment, know how to set up, break down, and then show you the forms you'll be using to document the voters that come in and allocate, how many ballots was used, if any was spoiled, or whatever the case may be. So you have two opportunities to get trained and become knowledgeable of the process of being a poll worker, and you will receive a manual for this election cycle.
And the manual's not nice, y'all. We got a thing that we call a pink paper that comes in that gives you all the details. If you're a poll worker, you have to follow everything that's on there. And to me, it's very insightful and helpful when we see that, because we know what direction we go. I don't care if you've been an election official for 1 year or 10 years, that piece of paper is important, and you must go by that and follow that. And when we get it, it's fine. I look at it, it's fine and everything. But getting back to the poll worker, once he or she sets up, everybody let you know right there, you're not going anywhere. You're there from 6 in the morning until the poll closes. So bring your lunch, breakfast, dinner, wherever you got to bring, because we have to be there. Now, how many people in that precinct have to be there?
Now that would depend on the size of the precinct itself. So you will have one election judge, possibly an alternate judge. Then you will have maybe 1 to 3 election clerks to help the judges to facilitate the voters that are coming in. So it depends on the size or the volume of voters that are coming to each particular polling locations. So it'll vary between county to county, and then also between precincts to precincts.
Okay, we touched base on pulling up and voting. When we did our first show back on July 3rd, there was a lot of people was amazed. They didn't know if they were disabled that we could bring it out to them. They were shocked. Y'all could do that? See, now that's the part of educating our voters, because they didn't know that. So is there anything else we need to let the voters know about educating them what they need to do in order to vote?
Yes, and it's funny, Ron, I never mentioned this to you, but I too was an election judge. So my first go out, I was being trained, and if I tell you every scenario that could have happened, happened. So my first time going out, I had an individual that needed assistance, and I had to go out to their car with my clipboard and all of the equipment and stuff, and facilitate that voter with casting their vote. So it depends on the situation. We do have a, I believe it's called an e-poll machine, where a person could go sit down in front of it, put a headset on, and it could be read to you. And then you touch the screen to select your answers. Versus possibly even, there's some counties that still do paper ballots where, so it depends on the situation of the voter and what's most convenient for them. Because we don't want to make this process hard. We want to try to help them in any way we can. So you also even have an opportunity to have someone to read the ballot to them, and they fill it out for them. But that individual will have to sign a form to be able to help that voter. Like say if I brought my mother in and she needed help, I could sign to help her fill out that ballot for her. So if you're having someone that's going to help you, you can take that route. You can use the e-poll machine where it would read the ballot to you to execute that. Or the election judge can go out to your vehicle if the voter is not able to physically come into the polling locations, because we have a lot of older constituents whose mobility is not the best. So, and they still want to exercise their right to vote. So we want to try to accommodate them, for them to still feel like they are still participating in our society and exercising their right to vote. So there's a few ways that a voter can execute exercising their right. So they can have the drive up, have someone come out to them. They can have the ballots read to them, or they can have someone assist them to fill out the ballot for them.
Yeah. And one thing to add to that, if I'm right, whoever helps you have to be sworn in by the election judge.
Correct.
So you just can't, anybody just go up there and help anybody. It's got to be done the right way.
Correct.
And also, I like to mention that inside each polling place, there are always a couple of voting booths that are made for the disabled. Let me get that straight, the disabled, because we got the headphone attachment, we got everything right there for them. So this is for everybody. It doesn't make a difference, you know, disabled or whatever. This is for everybody to vote. We will take any means necessary to make sure your vote gets in and count.
Correct. So you can ask for these accommodations, and some of your clerks will also ask, are you needing any type of accommodations? Do you need any assistance? So then they can kind of navigate what assistance that you are needing or what you are seeking and able to cast your vote.
And one other thing to let y'all know, a lot of people don't know about it, but you cannot bring your cell phone there and use it.
That is correct. And there will be signs posted on what you can and cannot do in the polling location. You are not able to bring in no mobile devices, and you are not able to use those devices. Now, if you do bring it in, it needs to be on silent and you cannot pull it out. Otherwise, you will be asked to leave out of the polling location, because it is against the law to have those type of devices in the polling location. But you are able to bring in a piece of paper or some literature if you're needing to remember which candidates you plan on voting for, or if you want to bring a copy of a sample ballot with you. So to make sure that you don't forget to vote for the person that you are supporting, or if you just need a reminder of, you know, what's going to be on the ballot. So you're able to bring in your sample ballot into the polling location, or you can bring some paper, but you cannot bring your cell phone or any type of mobile device in the polling location because it is against the law.
Okay, one last thing. When the polling polls, when they close at 7 o'clock, one of the clerks will go out there and stand where the line ends. So I need for y'all to be aware of that. And you can't miss the worker, because we all got these same color shirts on. So if they're right there, you come up and ask, can you vote? And you said, no, the cutoff is right here. Now, I haven't heard anything about people getting upset, but that's how it's supposed to be.
That is correct. So as long as you are in line before 7 o'clock, regardless of how long the line is, regardless of how many people are there, you are able to still cast your vote, but you must be in line prior to 7 o'clock.
And no saying I'm holding this space for my friend is going to be late. There's no space saver.
But that's why it's very important that you guys utilize early voting, because early voting, you know, you have several days where you can go to early vote. And usually, depending on your county, early voting, you are able to go to any location within your county. You don't have to go to your specific precinct. But in some counties, if they're not utilizing county-wide voting, you would have to go to your designated precinct, which may pose some challenges depending on where you work and then where you reside, and then making sure you're getting there on time to cast your vote. So, you know, utilize early voting, and then in some counties you're even maybe able to vote on the weekends, Saturday and one Sunday. So, you know, find out from your county election administrator to find out what are the hours that are available to you to cast your vote, and plan to vote early so you don't have to worry about having that type of hassle.
All right, we appreciate that. All right, everybody, that's it for today. So we got some more coming up. It's just a tip of the iceberg. This is Ronald Gordon. I'm gonna use my full name, Ronald Gordon, along with Sabrina Robinson, and we will catch everybody next week. Thank you. Thank you for watching Texas in Color. Please tune in every Wednesday at 11 a.m. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so you'll be notified each and every time we go on live.